Hi, I decided to make this video because Tony, aka Sayuki, from the server VFX Apprentice, is a dear friend of mine, and he's struggling a lot with illustration and concept from Boom and Blast. And he kinda asked me to record every time I did these illustrations, and I recorded most of them, but I didn't record this one because I forgot about it. But I also think this one is the most repetitive one, and there is just a couple of things that really helped me to achieve the way this looks. And since he was really happy about the way this looked, I'm referring to this because this is the final result that I achieved. He asked me to make a video just like kind of explaining him how to tackle this. I think that Simon and Abby posted a couple of images that are super helpful and honestly helped me a lot. So if you guys watching this, thank you a lot for posting these images. They are great. I went a little bit overboard to try to look for my own images, but I don't really like to spend too much time finding a huge amount of references than to end up only using two. So when I find something that I'm really satisfied about, I just stick with it. So one thing that I would try to do is to replicate this and maybe this or this. So one thing that I want to emphasize is that these materials are, how to say, daunting. There's too much going on, and simplification is key. So if you're trying to shoot to make this as similar as possible to this, good luck. I just like normally I'm pretty fast. Like I did both of the explosion and the lightning in one day, and this one instead on its own took me 1.5 days. So it's super complex. So one thing that I would do is just to try to make a shape that I like, very simplistic shape that encapsulates both a stretching part of the silhouette and both a blobby part of the silhouette. Well, it doesn't matter really, or maybe yes it does. Okay, I mean, so yeah, sorry for wasting time. So what you want to do is, well, go ahead and color this first. Maybe this color will do. Now just analyze, take your time and start thinking, what's the first thing that I want to put in? And to me, the first thing that catches my eye is this black part in here, like almost black. So I'm gonna go really dark with it, and just try to execute it in this way. Make it very similar. Try to understand that the way this behaves is that it goes really close to the edge, almost touches it, but always has this outline that is left free because the light that enters the material reflects on the outside in that way. Not on the outside, but on the outermost part of the material. So This is one way to do it. I think it's not a great way to do it, because, well, first of all, smoothing is not activated. So when working with these materials, always keep smoothing activated, almost always, of course, because all the shape that you're gonna get out of smoothing are more pleasing when we're talking about liquids. But one very smart way to do this on a large scale would be to do this. Sorry. Make another layer, select this this other layer, and contract by, I don't know, let's say 5, and that works fine, right? Now fill it up with the color that you want, and then selecting the select tool or the lasso tool, it just doesn't matter which one, you move the selection a little bit downward in this way and delete, and then clean up what you don't like. Maybe it's more, wait, that's yeah, oh, because the opacity is very low. Okay, so clean up where you see that it needs cleanup, and then you can either just move it a little bit, maybe, and then also you can try to bend it if you don't like it too much by warping it. Control T, right mouse button, and then just go warp, and you warp the shape a little bit as you like. Don't play too much with it because strange artifacts appear then. But yeah, this is overall what you can do. Now somewhere you can see that I have these that I've done here, as I said, but in some other areas I kinda, you see, it's kinda blurred it. So how do I do that? Well, I just use this. I kinda blur it away a little bit, not too much, or it depends on what it is, because in this way it blends a little bit more. But maybe this one, it's not the most. Yeah, I think I used this one for the goo because it's more softer, but a soft smudge tool will do. It will be just perfect. So yeah, you can do this and it works. But this one is a bit of a problem because it was sampling from all the layers. Don't do that. Sample only from one layer, or just deactivate that option. So yeah, you can do that. So for instance, just, come on. Yeah, the smoothing is gonna work against you when I do something fast. So yeah, you see, you smooth it like this. Now, next thing that I'm going to do is do not pay attention to all this stuff is going on in here, because as I said, simplification is key. So next thing that I would personally try to tackle is the light. So just get ourselves some light color, make another layer, always clip it. It's best to clip it. So hold down the Alt key, and as soon as this as your finger turns into this, just click and it's gonna clip, like make a clipping mask. You do this, in fact do it with the soft. And this is how the light is behaving, right? It's making a ball, and in the ball the light is going down, it's reflecting against the surface and bouncing back inside. So this is how it's working. But in this area here, which is like the stretching area, you see that here it's pretty unlighted. It's very unlighted. So keep in mind that you want to do that in here as well. And now it's all messed up, but we're gonna fix it by using the fantastic no wait, that's wrong too. Fantastic smudge. Yeah, so this is gonna help you a lot. You see? Whoa, very Cool, simple. And this one is gonna do this. So with this one you can do whatever you want really. If you think this is too much, then just lower it down a little bit. I don't know. Just use the soft, put down the opacity and dab a little bit, not too much, otherwise you're gonna lose everything. Okay, now this is looking fine. Last thing that you probably want to tackle is the highlight, and the highlight doesn't really need to be clipped, so just go white and put a little highlight in here, and maybe as you see the highlight is going all the way from here. Wait, let me put the smoothing guy from here to here. Can do this again. I do not have this amazing hand. It's just the smoothing tool helping me a lot. So remember to use it. But to me this looks like it's too much. I prefer to stick with the very little highlights, little spots. And so what I would do is, well, you know what, just delete it and start over. Too much, you see. When you try to do something fast, smoothing isn't good. And that to me works, you know, just fine. One last thing that you could do is make it even a little bit darker. So for instance, this one probably better to clip it. Paint in here and in here just to suggest a little bit more of a shadow, because this is still a ball, right? So try always to keep that in mind. Treat every shape as a ball, just as being stretched, but it's still a ball, so it's always gonna behave in this way. So maybe blur it a little bit, and then what? I don't know, you can just yeah, whatever looks good. Maybe overlay, maybe some vivid light, I don't know, it depends. And lower a bit the opacity. Okay, sorry, the video cut abruptly. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, more glowing, well, I think you can handle that. It's pretty easy. Just put down this color. I like to tone it down a little bit. Go color dodge maybe, and yeah, have fun. Super color, super bright. And go in the layer styles and play with these switches, and you see how they help you. They don't always help you. Sometimes it's not clear what they are doing, but to control them the best, you hold the Alt, you see Alt key, and move them, because if you don't, just try to drag these, they will cut. Switch on, switch off, right? So hold down the Alt key and work this way. Okay, so one last thing that I did is adding hue shift. Now hue shift is like the candy on top of the cake. You don't have to do it. I do it because I learned about it, and I learned that it's making really cool, like it's catching your eye. So I do it. But if you don't want to do it, then who cares? It's not a big deal, right? So yeah, so what you want to do is create a new layer, start coloring with a very saturated color, and then shift it to hue. So in that way it's just gonna affect its hue, and then come here and blend it a little bit, you know. Move it, drag it around, do whatever you like with it. And once you feel satisfied about it, let's just say that this looks okay, you can even further enhance it by I don't know, piercing through it a little bit with the rubber. I'm piercing with the rubber, just deleting some, making some holes inside it. And if it's too much, just lower a little bit the opacity. Okay, And so you got some cool hue shift. Now what? For the rest, what can I say? That's it. Not much else to say. Last thing that I can mention to you is, if you notice, these shapes in here are very blurred, right? Notice. Yeah, and that is because I used the blur. I literally just selected the entire layer behind. I went to filter, blur. Wait, let's try to do this on this, so maybe it's more understandable. Let's flatten down. Okay, I just flattened it down. Filter, blur, and lens blur. And you fiddle with it. Try the radius, try whatever you wanna try, then just hit OK. Just know it's very memory hungry process, and if you fiddle too much with it, you're gonna also get very strange artifacts, like in this case. So maybe you can then help it. I don't know, it just or just Control Z until you get back the shape, and then try again, and whatever. This is all. I blurred it because, of course, the eye is aided by this, because everything that is blurred is out of focus, and so it doesn't really add up to the complexity of the scene. So that helps. Okay, so I hope that this helps Tony to iterate, and if anyone else of you is gonna watch this, I really hope that it helps you. If you have any question, you can contact me, or really just ask away, because I'm really happy to help. And yeah. Take care. Bye.